It's 8 o'clock on a Thursday evening, and that means it is time for the Real Money Coach Show. Listen, I am here and I am ready to talk to the Real Money Coach Nation. Listen, all of you out there, hello. Let us know where you're watching from. We're excited to be with you once again. This is the first Thursday of October. And then we're in fourth quarter already. Can you believe it? That we are in October. It is the fall of the year. We're approaching the end of the year. And what a phenomenal year it has been for many of us. I know many of us have had our struggles. Wow, who'd ever thought that we would still be in the midst of this pandemic thing that's going on and all this type of thing that's going on. But listen, we're just happy to be here. We're happy for most of us to have our health and all these good things. And so, listen, thank you, Miss D's Motivational Moment. Thank you for being here. Dr. Benita Harris, thank you for being here. And Miss Ruth Bell, thank you for being here as well. We love our regular listeners that are here each and every week. Ruth Bell just didn't say good evening. She said Ruth Bell is in the house from Charlotte. Love it. Love it. Thank you so much. All of you, regardless of where you're watching from, what state, what city, doesn't matter. Join in and be with us tonight. Listen. All right. We got Cynthia, Miss Cynthia from Durham. Listen, it's good to have you, Cynthia. She is phenomenal. Her and her husband. Listen, let me tell you, they treated Elisa and I so well. We stopped by to visit them. They are the most gracious, wonderful host. Cynthia's mom was the sweetest person that you'd ever want to meet. Alice Martin, talking about sweet. We got Alice Martin from Charlotte, North Carolina. Alice, it's good to see you. Good to have you with us tonight, as you are each and every Thursday. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Listen, I'm excited about the person we're having on the show tonight. She is really a phenomenal person. And, I listened to a podcast that she was on. We were with the same company, and I was listening to one of her podcasts, and I already asked her to be on the show. And then after I listened to the podcast, I was like, man, what a good decision. We're glad to have her. Linda Smalls, thank you for being here. Listen, we got the Park Church in the house. Chad, U of M. Chad, man, what are we? 5-0, 4-0? Let me know. I lost track. I missed most of the game last week, but matter of fact, I missed all of it, to be honest with you. I think I saw maybe half of the second quarter because I was out in Phoenix. We'll tell you about that a little bit here in a second. But, hey, we're doing well. We got Sparty around the corner sooner or later, though. Listen, excited to have you here. Chad is in actually Columbus, Ohio. And so right now, I think he's the first person away other than our co-host, Miss Michelle Mitchell. And we're going to bring her on because she's all the way. Yes, there is a city called Kalamazoo, Michigan. I know a lot of times people say, Kalamazoo, does that really exist? Yes, it does exist. It's in the middle of Detroit and Chicago, right? Dead in the center. 2 hours either way. You can be in Detroit or Chicago. It is where the university, the great university, Western Michigan University, is located, where we all went to school. My wife and Michelle were roommates. And then Michelle's husband went to another school, rival school, but that's okay. We love him anyway. He's a Chippewa. But listen, let's bring on Michelle. Let's have a conversation, see how Michelle's week is going.
Good evening, Tony.
How your week going, girl?
Going good. Going good.
Having a good week? Yeah. The weeks just fly by.
Oh, my goodness.
I can't believe it's Thursday night. That means there's one day left, right? Yep. And so, and Michelle, I got to tell you this. I'm telling our audience this because this audience is like my family, right? Y'all all like, we all cousins now, right? So I'm looking for my barbecue when this COVID is over. I'm looking for my invitation to the barbecue and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to show up, right? I'm going to show up. I'm going to eat. I'm going to be just like one of your other family members, right? But listen, so we're talking, And you know what we do every Friday night? We have date night.
Yeah.
But my wife says, we need to start going a little bit earlier. You gonna cut it off. You're gonna have to cut your work day off a little bit earlier because we need to get out a little bit early because these lines in Charlotte to go eat. And for us, we eat outside. So that means a little bit longer wait because we like, when you go inside the restaurant, everybody's got their mask off.
Yeah.
I mean, so we like to be outside. We like to
Yeah.
eat on the patio. And now that it's getting a little bit cooler, she's like, yeah, you got to cut it off, brother, a little bit earlier so we can get out of here a little bit earlier. So y'all thought y'all used to could make an appointment for me at 4 or 5 o'clock on Friday. You're gonna find it ain't available anymore. Mrs. Jackson done trunked you, right? In 29 years, she's been dealing with me. Shoot, if she wants to leave a little earlier, guess what?
You leaving a little early.
I'm leave a little bit earlier.
Right. Yes.
So, yeah, Michelle. Let me tell you, I don't know. Have we really talked since my trip last week? Many of you.
No, we didn't talk about your trip.
We didn't talk about the trip. So we were on the phone the other night. Lisa and I was out getting some chicken. Okay. So we were out riding in the car. We're going to the drive-thru. And so we're talking to Michelle. But last week, you guys, many of you knew I went to Phoenix, Arizona. Nice city. Everything's flat. Everything's same color, but it's a beautiful city, right? And so we had a great time. I got a chance to spend some time with Eric Thomas. I don't know why they put me and Eric in the back of the Suburban. I'm like, why you put us way in the back? The old dude's way in the back, sitting on the back on the third seat, right? That should have been some young folks, but they had us back on the third seat. But it actually, one of the things, Michelle, that I sometimes when someone has like that big of a personality, and is sometimes every once in a while you meet someone at that celebrity kind of level, and they're not like really down to earth. They kind of can have their nose up in the air a little bit, or but he was really just down to earth. We had some great conversations.
Cool.
Talked about some common people that we know in Michigan because obviously he lives in Lansing, lives in Grand Ledge, Michigan. So it's a wonderful conference. And I was kind of like, okay, what is it going to be like from a crowd standpoint?
Right.
Because there's like 6,000 people attending this conference.
Wow.
But what was really nice is because I was with him, we got ushered in the back door, we're in the green room, and really wasn't nobody there. And so it just really was kind of nice. And, and then
who's a celebrity?
Huh?
Who's a celebrity?
Who's a celebrity?
You getting ushered in the back door and in the green room.
Hey, listen, it's who you. It ain't what you know, it's who you know, right?
Right.
So, but anyway, we had a good time. I met some folks that have been on this show before. Alistair is one of my customers, and others from Legal Shield. It was a Legal Shield conference, and so it was really a great experience. And then Lisa flew in after work, and so we got to spend the rest of the weekend with Landris and Tara, are very, very dear friends. And so we had a great time, went to church. Somehow we committed to go back to Phoenix.
Did you?
Yes, we're going to go back to Phoenix in January for their church anniversary. So
it's a good time to go to Phoenix.
Yeah. So I'll go back and speak, be the speaker for their church anniversary in January. So it probably won't be as hot, I'm hoping, right? It was still pretty warm down there.
Was it?
Yeah, it was still pretty warm. But all in all, great experience, everybody. And so many of you may have seen it on some of the pictures I put on Facebook. But something new happened there, Michelle.
In Phoenix?
Yeah, something new.
What happened?
New. I started an Instagram.
Oh.
Listen, I've barely been on Facebook, y'all.
It's about time.
I started an Instagram. Let me tell y'all can follow me, right? I might have a handful of followers. So everybody watching the show,
follow Tony
at Tony_TRMC. Tony_TRMC, the real money coach. That's what that stands for. Y'all didn't know. So Tony_TRMC. Follow me on Instagram. I don't know what I'm doing. I tried to do a post today about the show tonight. I think it worked. I don't know. But
Oh, I
anyway,
see it.
did I do it? Did I
It's
do it
on
right?
there. Look,
Okay.
you
So
got
I'm learning.
24 followers.
Huh?
You got 24.
I got 24 followers.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm almost
Y'all go
there.
follow Tony.
So Michelle, that's what my weekend was like. So
Cool.
pretty exciting, and still kind of a little tired about it though. Because that time difference.
Time difference.
It's cool when you go, but when you come back, you leave at noon, get home at 11,
Right.
p.m. Right? So that's kind of tough. But thank you, Miss Evans, Una Evans. I ought to know that name. Thank you for putting. It's actually
TRMC.
TRMC. So Tony _ TRMC, the Real Money Coach. So Tony _ TRMC. So thank you for following your boy. Got some other.
Oh, look, your number's going up. You got 25.
Listen, thank you. Somebody did it. Right. So Michelle.
Yes.
Last week, I think we might have mentioned this on the show, and I asked you the question: how many GoFundMes are started every year to cover funeral costs? And you've had them you've had them in your family. I've had them in my family. I think many of us have had them in our families, right? And so it's just not something that we need to do. I mean, this is, in my opinion, y'all, this is something that is avoidable. And so what we're going to be doing, and I think I may have mentioned this last week, on Tuesday at 8 p.m., in conjunction with the Black Couples Getaway, in conjunction with some other groups that we have affinity relationships with and stuff, we're going to be doing a 1 hour or maybe longer, depending on the discussion, at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Chris can bring that flyer back up. And it's the title of the workshop is GoFundMe Ain't Life Insurance.
Right.
Okay. And it's for everybody who doesn't have life insurance. It's for people who have life insurance, but not sure if they got the right kind. Because there's some people that have the old kind of insurance, right? So, your car, it drives itself. I mean, Michelle's car drives itself. My car don't. But Michelle's car drives itself. You got lane assistance. You got navigation. You can talk to your car. But with your life insurance, you're still driving a Model T Ford, right? You got to go outside and crank the thing up. So do you have the old insurance or the new insurance? Or are you not sure that your family's 100% protected? So that's what we're going to talk about. And I know on social media, someone said, well, you guys are being judgmental. And it's not that we're being judgmental, but what we want to do is we want to bring awareness to what I think is a problem.
Yeah.
And the problem is that sometimes too often we think that we're invincible, that we're not going to die. And then what happens is something, a person passes and they leave that burden and those expenses to their family. So that's my opinion about it. What you think?
That is exactly how I feel about it. So there's two things. One, life insurance should be purchased as soon as you're able to when you're young, because you never know when you might have an illness and you don't even qualify for life insurance anymore.
Yes.
Second, you're leaving the burden of taking care of your final expenses to your family who's not prepared. And that all goes back to financial literacy, which is what we talk about all the time.
Every week we're talking about financial literacy, financial education.
Yeah.
And I guess what the point is too is the GoFundMes. What happens is that the families that are left behind, they kind of get the brunt of it because, you got to GoFundMe because such and such that. Well, you know what? It wasn't they weren't the one responsible.
Right.
It's the person who passed that was responsible.
Exactly.
And so we're not being judgmental. I understand that there's some families that, like I said, I've had it. I've seen it in my family, my wife's family. I mean, you've mentioned in your family. We've seen. We understand that sometimes it becomes a necessity because we're at this point where someone's passed. We don't have the money, and so what are you going to do? Right. And so it's not to pass judgment, but it's to say, listen, if my people knew better, they would do better.
Right.
So let's bring awareness to this so that people get this basic need taken care of. That's really what it's all about. So
yeah, I agree.
All right, cool. Listen, we have a person on tonight. Her name is Yeti. I love that name already, right? Yeti. Yeti. You know, speaking of Yeti, you know, it's like the Yeti, the cup. Let me just, I got a sidebar. So Cameron, you know, Cameron, right?
Yes.
Cameron calls Michelle Two Mama, right? That's his name for Michelle. He said, that's his Two Mama. Like, okay. But Cam was upset the other day. This is kids, right? So he's got like these Bendigo mail lunch boxes or whatever they call them, and he's got a Yeti. And so the other day he was getting ready for school, and he said, "Oh, I forgot my Yeti in my mom's car, so I got to go to school. I won't have my Yeti." It's like, well, Cam, you got this other cup that has water in it, but my water won't stay cold all day.
I know.
I'm like, okay. When I was 6 years old, I went to school with a brown paper bag and a little carton of milk that I got at school, right? So, but it's just interesting.
There were no bento boxes and Yeti cups.
And Yeti cups, right? So, but the kids now, they got Yeti cups, bento boxes. And stuff.
Yes.
But anyway, we have a special Yeti with us tonight. Yeti is someone I have a lot of respect for because number one, she's a phenomenal agent. She's doing wonderful things. She's got a history in real estate. She's switched over to, you know, doing financial services. I don't know if it's 100, it's not 100%, but perhaps it's most. If it's not most of what she does, I'll tell you what, she's incredible. She's incredible. The numbers that I see her put up. But what I like about Yeti is that she cares about the community, and she's not in it for the money. She's in it to help people. And so she's like us, you know, our desires to help people. Yeah. And then if the money comes with it, let it come, right? But let's help people. And she helps a lot of people. And so I'm really, really excited about her coming on, sharing her nuggets of wisdom and encouragement for the team and for everyone listening. So with no other further ado, let's bring Yeti onto the screen and on the stage and bless us tonight. Yeti. That's that, you know, that's that internet thing, right? That's that technology stuff, right? So hopefully maybe your camera's not on. Let's see what's going on. But we're gonna have Yeti here with us.
There she is.
There she is. Hi, Yeti. I think we're not able. I think maybe a weak signal. You think? Maybe so. So but anyway, Yeti will be with us here in a second. So just want to. There we go.
Okay.
How's it going, Yeti? Can you
hear Tony
us?
And Michelle.
Hello.
Hey,
yeah, I can hear you. Sorry, I didn't. Good. Hey, Michelle, how are you?
Good. How are you?
So Yeti, it's breaking up a little bit, but I think that, you know, we'll be able to hear you. We'll be able to have some good wisdom coming from you. So Yeti, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you got to where you are now, and you know where you live, all the little particulars, a little bit about your family and all that good stuff.
All right, Tony. My name is Yeti Asatu, and I'm originally from Ethiopia. And I came here in 1987, almost 35 years ago. And, you know, my journey is just, you know, very long and sometimes difficult, sometimes is, you know, okay kind of a journey that I traveled. But, I was in a different types of business, or restaurant business, and then other, flea market kind of different businesses. And then corporate America, of course, I used to be in the corporate America, serving the government division in the IT profession. But, when the technology crashed, I moved into real estate in 2000. And serving the real estate industry. I'm still active real estate. So that's where I came. My background looked like that, and I was a Cisco certified professional. But now I'm just, in the real estate and financial service industry. So I'm in the two investments, but they have differences. But I'm just serving the consumers in both investments.
That's awesome, Yeti, and I think that's interesting to point that out, is that with financial services, retirement, annuities, certainly some of the different life insurance products out there gain equity just like real estate, and both of them are pretty solid, right? Because real estate values normally don't go down; they're going to go up, they're going to expand. And certainly the type of products that we work with are the same way. So they don't move backwards when the market goes backwards, they kind of expand. So kind of both building wealth in two different ways. Yeah, I think we got a connection issue going there. Chris, maybe let's do this. So Chris, I'm going to if I could, I'm gonna text you. I'm going to text you her number. Maybe there's something perhaps that you can do to help her. I know maybe she's on a cellular and not Wi-Fi. So I sent you the number, Chris, and maybe you can help her. We can get a little better connection. So and I guess what she was talking about was really the correlations between real estate. There we go.
I'm here. I've been here. I've been hearing you, but you don't.
Yeah, we were having trouble hearing you, and it's still kind of breaking up. Sometimes that happens. That's that. Listen. Here's the thing about it. When we first started,
the hourglass is just rotating. There must be something, but I haven't.
Yeah.
So when we first started, I didn't even have a laptop, Michelle. I was on my iPad all the time. We were doing the show. People were like, I can't hear you. You're breaking up, right? So I feel it. I mean, it's like I understand exactly where it is. And sometimes, even when we've done the show, the internet's gone down.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
And I think even when we've been on, I got disappeared because
you disappeared.
The internet blanked out or something like that.
Yeah.
So we understand those things can happen. But again, I think one of the things that we're talking about is the correlation between real estate and financial services and that type of thing. And one of the things I think we'll get into this conversation is helping our community. And I know a big part of her market, a big part of her customers are people who are also Ethiopian, who are living here. And then I've seen some of her Facebook stuff. She does a lot in social media, and she does it in her native language because she talks about the language barrier. That oftentimes the reason why people aren't engaged in the financial services stuff is because there's a language barrier, because they don't understand.
Right.
And I think that's a very important part of this, is trying to put things in. because some of the products are complex, but if we can make them simple where people understand them, and then can make the right decision.
Yes.
And so much of that falls on us as professionals to make sure we do that.
Yeah.
But again, we were talking about, it all boils down to education.
It does.
Financial education. So,
yeah.
So I'm just kind of curious. Tell us some of the things that you've been involved in terms of financial education and that type of thing, while we're waiting on Yeti to get back with us.
Well, for me, the financial education, really, besides like, college and stuff like that, that really didn't teach me any financial literacy.
No.
But I got a degree in accounting. So, but outside of that, where I really started learning about financial education was at church. And we would have these small groups for couples or women or whatever. And maybe it was just the pastor, he had a heart for helping people with money. It's not something he talked about all the time, but he would provide these opportunities for you to learn more. So, as a young parent, a young couple, we would participate to learn more. And I've always been one to want to know more about, that type of thing. So that's where it started for me.
So that was in Kalamazoo?
That was in Kalamazoo.
So was that at Pastor Brooks or
at Pastor Brooks Church.
Pastor Brooks. Okay.
Yeah.
So and that's awesome, because that was a large ministry, and very diverse ministry.
Yeah.
And the fact that they offered classes is something. And that's probably been a little while ago too, right?
Yeah, it has been.
But there's not a lot of churches that have done that.
No.
And a lot of them have dabbled, right? So we've had churches that have dabbled in. And then we've seen that you take a little Crown here, Crown Financial, or maybe a Dave Ramsey financial piece here. And you kind of have these bits and pieces, and along the way, you kind of develop some knowledge of it.
Right.
And then I think because of our backgrounds being accounting and numbers, right?
Yeah.
So then that turns out to, we gravitate towards that. We gravitate towards the financial things, financial education, and all that. And
people always would come to me and tell me all their information for some reason.
They just tell you more than you want to know sometimes.
More than what I needed to know, for sure.
Well, maybe that was a prelude for you to really start to become comfortable.
Absolutely.
Because as financial professionals, what happens is that we do handle people's confidential information.
Yeah, we do.
And sometimes we know more about them than maybe they even want their spouse to know, right?
Right.
So, and those type of things. And so there has to be a level of integrity.
Absolutely.
Has to be a level of, I think, knowledge. And when we talk financial education, I think that's one of the things we can talk about, because there's so many different areas to financial education. Wow.
Listen,
I don't know what happened, but that is clear as day.
I came with my phone. I came with my phone now.
Okay.
You're on with your phone now?
Yeah.
Really? Okay. Awesome. Yes. Well, we are so happy that you are here and can share with us. And so I think when we were talking a little bit about how real estate and financial services both provide wealth building, but different. And so tell us some of the differences that you're experiencing now that you're still doing both, but talk to us a little bit more about the financial services and what are some of the things you're doing there.
The financial services products, what really separates us from the real estate investment is it has best of both worlds. The real estate market, it goes up and down, and the financial product that you and I are offering to the public or to the consumers, whenever the market goes up, we participate on the gains. But whenever the market goes down, it does not matter. We don't even lose a penny. So it is so beautiful. And then sometimes I think, I wish if real estate is running the same way as certain financial products are really functioning, because the market is high like today. And when the market corrects itself, if we remain where we are and then keep on going, whenever the market try to recover, just move up from where we stopped. It is wonderful. But the nature of the business in the real estate side is not like that. But I love the financial products that offers the downside protection. So we always worry and focus on the gain side when the market goes up. That is a happy day for me and my clients. But when the market goes down, we go to bed and have a good night's sleep. Nothing to worry. So it's a stress-free investment. I love it.
Yeti, I often say that is that I like to sleep at night. So I know that whatever I'm doing with a customer, that I'll be able to sleep at night in that type of thing. I know this. I know that you're really passionate about helping the community. And when I listened to your podcast, you really talked about that. I'd like for you to just kind of talk about that a little bit, about why you're so passionate about helping the community and helping people that maybe don't know about some of the things that you do.
Well, I am a God-fearing woman, and I believe we all are born to win. But certain group of people, because they don't have time to evaluate and do enough research, because they do one job, two jobs, sometimes three jobs. Because I remember myself when I was in, when I get closer to my 20th year, like 17, 18, 19, all the way to age 25, I know how hard I worked. And then I know how many jobs I used to have. So there are so many people, even in my age and your age, who are doing 2-3 jobs, and they don't have time to really do enough research before they own the products that we're offering. And at the same time, the industry offers license to those who passed the board exam, whether they understood the material in the industry standard or not. We're not in a government position. But if we love this industry, I feel I have an obligation to share the truth about the product and to protect all God-created beautiful people. I've seen many of them are targeted and becoming a victim in my own, in the Ethiopian and Eritrean community, because it is done just like in the data entry profession. You come in and they said, how old are you? What's your name? What's your social security number? No one knows what they own. I ask them, they come with their package. I review policies. It's not like 1 or 2 policies per day. I review many policies. And I say, who did this? And they say, their cousin. Who did this? My sister. Who did this? My childhood friend. Who did this? Someone that I worked in this company when I was, at XYZ company. Who did this? Somebody that I met at Starbucks when I was purchasing coffee. Who did this? It's so many crazy. Somebody texted me, call me, to death. And they said, I just got fed up and I just surrender. And I said, yes, and go ahead and do it. So I'll have a peace of mind from that phone call and texting and bothering that is coming. Wow. And the very sad thing, when we ask some of them, they said, where did you get it? They said, I got it from my church, from the pastor or from the priest who referred me to such and such, or he's doing it and then he did it. This business is open and available to all people with no discrimination. But when you do it for money, and when you really do it because you love to protect people and you love to educate about how it functions, and you give them an option to go and shop around somewhere else, it's totally different. So it hurts it broke my heart every time I see those kind of, policies. and it's done in the wrong way. And then those people, they think that they do have policies that will last up to number of years, 120, 121. And they said, oh, my agent told me that, this will really give me a very fantastic, layback, easy retirement life. And I say, can I see the money? And the money, when they bring their annual statement, if that agent show them an illustration just to get them excited and sold by the idea, everything is just messed up. And then it shows, let's say, $1,000 on the first year. On the illustration, calculated with over 7% interest rate. Today, as of December 12, 2020, no agent is allowed to show an illustration over 6%. Right. But I see people still today bringing an illustration calculated by 7.2, 7.6%. Then what does that mean? When you calculate with 4%, 5%, 7%, the number goes up. What they see is those numbers.
Right.
It looks good. It looks
and then
good.
I say, let's meet again during your 1 year anniversary. Bring your statement and let's sit down and talk. What was happened 1 year ago? They bring it, and then that cash value that show them that the people, the agent, the so-called agent, showed them, it shows $1,000. And that $1,000 on the statement is $300. And I say, can you tell me where the $700 went? Did you ask your agent where it went? Is it in his pocket, or is it in the rich insurance company, wall or light, or on the window, on the door? Where is it? On the CEO's pocket? Where is it? I mean, I need to know, because we're very serious about this. It's our obligation to protect our community in general, the minorities everywhere, in every community. They're completely being a victim by people who has license. I cannot call them professionals, but when you see that, they're God-created people. You are God-created beautiful person. Everybody really is here. We all are here on this planet to try hard as much as we can and achieve as much as we can. But you shouldn't be the one, or I shouldn't be the one, who really stop that individual from succeeding by cheating them, by misleading them, by telling them something that could not happen with the product that they give them. Sometimes, I just share the product with other people and I say, such and such product, this and that. Some of the people who knows how numbers work, they know products by name, and they say, oh, that's a crappy product. I wouldn't even kick it with my shoes, let alone holding it under my arm, let alone putting it in my drawer. So those are the things that you hear from those who understand numbers. And then my fellow minority people in general from all parts of the world, they don't understand that. So, we have to educate them. The passion came from that, because I can't stand it when you or me or somebody else is, trying to take advantage of somebody, another person who is illiterate on a certain things. No, that's not right. That is not right at all. So I'm just trying to do my best to correct some of the people, to save some of the people from being really hurt by the financial revolution that is going on right now. It's not going to stop because our community do not understand. It's not going to stop because some of the people said, oh, I got it from my cousin, I got it from my mom, I got it from such and such, that I know. This thing doesn't require any emotion. It is just number from 0 to 9. Let's talk about numbers. If it makes sense, you take it. If it does not make sense, go shop around. We want to be better too as a professional. To get better, it's the consumer's responsibility to educate themselves from every agent that they meet, learn about whatever they have, go shop around and compare the numbers. That's what I'm begging every consumer out there. There's no special for a certain community. All of them are God-created beautiful people. They're born to win. So we have to make sure that they won. We have to make sure that they get the best of the best that meets their family requirements and that meets their requirements, what they want.
Well, you're so passionate about it. I love it. And And you're right. Sometimes the way things are presented, and not only insurance, but a number of different things. It's like the old car sales, that old cliche or stereotype, and sometimes agents have done things that make it harder for the legitimate ones to come along, right? Same thing with consultants. Some consultants have taken people's money, not giving value. And so we want to make sure that we know our craft, right? We want to make sure that we understand, that we know our product. And I like what you said. You said a lot of things that kind of cracked me up. Like, you wouldn't even kick it with your shoe,
Right.
I mean, that's a bad policy, right? That's horrible. You wouldn't even kick it,
Oh, yeah.
But, that the numbers speak for themselves. And so we've seen that where people will present numbers and it gives people an unrealistic expectation. And I think that's what happens. And that's why people don't answer the phone, because they've given these unrealistic expectations. I tell people all the time, when I see you, if you buy a policy from me, when I see you at the grocery store, I'm not going to have to dodge you. I'm not going to have to go to another aisle. I'm not going to have to walk out the door real quick. I can be able to walk up. God forbid me if I can get your name, because I ain't, sometimes the names, but I will be able to look you square in the eye and know that I did what was best for you. And sometimes that's a bitter pill, because sometimes what I'm going to tell you isn't going to look as attractive as the person down the street, but it's going to be the truth. And for me, I'd rather have the truth than for someone to sell me a pipe dream of something that can do something that it can't. So very, very interesting. So Yeti, I'm just interested. How do you reach your community? Tell us how from a business owner, businesswoman standpoint, tell us what you're doing to reach your community. What type of marketing do you do? How do you reach your community?
Well, reaching my community in general, for any business person, I'm just giving you the basic principle of business. It's just all over across the board. All businesses, they have basic similarity. So for me, in order to say that I'm a good business person, what have I done and how did I treat the clients that I had yesterday in front of my desk, in front of me? And then doing my real estate business in the past 20 years, the market has been up and down. Were there people really misled and hurt because of the service that I give? That is a big question for anybody who wants to deal with me. So I do it very, very carefully in a way that benefits the consumers. Like I said on my podcast, I'm not here for me in both industries. Even in the past, in everything that I touched, I want to make sure that what I have is really changing the consumer's life one way or the other. So the business, or maybe creating an advocate, is one thing. If you want to have continuous business. So I handled it, every transaction is like a family, a new family that I'm meeting, a new family that I'm going to add into my family tree. So when you really do it in that manner, and then you give them all the options, all the flexibility, sometimes even you have to say no with a reason. You don't have to sound somebody who can make a decision for your customer, but point out why you don't like this one, why you don't want them to buy this house. Everybody must say wow for that house. For me as their agent, to feel comfortable and confident about selling it back to somebody else. I mean, once they come in, the exit strategy for all financial services, real estate, or any other business that you're in, they come into you, make sure that you serve them to the best of your knowledge. I mean, the best of the best, first-class service. Then advocacy is going to start from there. Then a year come, if it needs a review, you don't have to hide from your clients. Most of the policies that I see, the agents, or I don't know how to say the agents, those people who gave them, the government gave them license. Yeah, they hide from the consumers. They hide from the public place because I know how that feels, because I've never went through it, and then I've seen it when the real estate market crashed. Everybody just don't want to see anybody's face. I was confident. My chin was up when I walk around my community or all the people that I served, as a matter of fact. I have Ethiopians, I have Eritreans, I have other African like Ghanaians, I have Kenyans, I have European from Netherlands, and I have African American, I have white American, you name it. I served all of them in the past 21 years. But we're still friends. They hear from me minimum 6 times a year. And we go out and have lunch. We really look at each other like family members. There are other things that we celebrate together beside their home anniversary or their policy anniversary. So it takes a lot to continue to have a continuous business. So education is one thing. When you educate them, they're human beings. We don't need to treat them like a little baby. Oh, get this and the best, or this is the best. And I heard last night when I slept, God was telling me that death is knocking on your door. So you're the next one. That's what it is told in my community. When some of them tell me, there was a lady who called me that somebody really that they consider big, I guess, and whatever number of group of people, he told me that what guarantee do you have if you live for the next 7 years? So you better get a 10 years policy. And when I look at the lady, there is no way, unless a tree fall on her or the house that she's living burn down while she's sleeping so she cannot run and save her life. There's no way that she looks like somebody who's really in some kind of health challenge who's going to die in the next 10 years.
It's
and I say, you know, yeah. So the selling tactic is very dirty, very backward, very much, you know, it makes you very much ashamed of being part of a certain group of people, because, you know, there are certain people who doesn't like to hear about insurance because of those kind of people who have government issue license. Can we put them that way? Because it is very hard to know.
Well, just because you can go and take the test and pass it doesn't mean that you know the product. I want to ask you something, and you can defer and not answer this if you want. But as you were talking, you're talking about all the different people that you serve. I just want to kind of get a little bit and ask you, what has it been? What has there been challenges for you? Because number one, you're in a male-dominated industry. Let's be honest, you're in a white male-dominated industry, right? And here you are a Black woman in this industry. You weren't born in America, and so I think that there had to have been challenges that you faced, but from everything that I've seen, you've overcome those stereotypes and have done really well. So has there been any challenges there, or has it been pretty smooth for you?
Believe it or not, the way I was raised, and then where I came from Ethiopia. We've never been colonized by anyone, and color doesn't exist in our book as a nationality of, you know, national, you know, in general, the country or the citizens. We don't know color. We know human beings. We know God created people. We know God is not discriminating. So what I have in my mind is not color. We all have 24 hours. How are we using those 24 hours? Where are we spending those 24 hours? Unless they say that you do not belong here, and they shut the door on my face, which I have never experienced that. But I just mix with everybody. I take all the expensive courses or medium pay courses, $1,000 course, $500 course, $10,000 course. I attended. For your information, I signed up on a $15,000 coaching financial coach. And I think maybe myself and one person from New Jersey are the only minorities. The rest of them are from the majority group, as you said, mainly white male and white female. But to me, you know, I heard such and such is white, such and such is black. And then there are more detail into it. But for me, when I see people with two eyes, two ears, two hands, and a mouth, to me, a man or a woman, people, God created people. So I make sure that what I have to present is really heard. If they have any problem with my accent, there's nothing I can do because I was not born, and I'm going to have my children trained on this business and say it in without an accent. So, but I do have an accent, and people never complain about my accent. But the solution
I personally
is,
love your accent.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do.
Thank
I think
you.
you sound so cool.
Yeah.
You said
But-
something, and I think it's very important. I don't want people to miss this because Yeti, people look at your success, right? At First Financial Security, you are one of the most successful agents there. Okay, and we've been in a lot of meetings together. And you just said something that I think was very important. You said you got a coach.
Yes.
There's not many agents that I've spoken with that ever said, hey, listen, I got a coach. Tell us a little bit about why you got a coach and what that did for your career.
Having a coach for all business people, including consumers that do not have a good understanding about what they want to achieve, is very, very important. For me, for my success in my real estate business and the financial service business, my coaches have a big role. I have 5 coaches. 4 of them are paid coaches. 1 is the company coach, First Financial Security offered me. And you and I are in that group. No, not that one. We are in the Champions Club. But the other one that they picked 12 people nationwide, and I'm one of the 12 people.
Okay. So we're in
that is the 5th one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the 5th one.
So I actually, when you were saying that, I was thinking you were going to be talking about Shirley Lou, because we're both in Shirley Lou's area. Shirley Lou was on our show a couple weeks ago.
Yep.
And you know Shirley came in like a firecracker. But I just think that's very important to have a coach and being able to spend that money. Michelle, I mean,
So do I.
You've had experience with coaching. What did it make a difference in your career?
Absolutely. What coaches do is shorten your learning curve. They do. They shorten your learning curve. Whatever you're working on, they shorten the path to get there. And even people that don't have businesses should get a life coach, because it shortens your learning gap and time. And time is the commodity that we will never get back. So having a coach is very important to the growth of you professionally and just in your daily life, I believe. Yeah.
Okay. So here's ladies where I want to go next. And then we're 9 o'clock. I want to go here. So we talked about getting a coach, but give me a little bit about the mindset, because I think people sometimes hire a coach, but they're not coachable.
Yeah.
So how do you stay coachable in that process? And so, you know, and you, Yeti, with all your success, how do you stay coachable?
Your dream makes you committed to the coach, whatever the coach tells you. A person with no dream cannot do anything.
Right.
You want to achieve something, but you don't want to do it like on a trial and error basis. You jump into the swimming pool without knowing how to swim. You swim or sink, right? You don't want the surprise of death at the end. So if you don't want, if you don't want your business to die, if you want to do it professionally without a coach, it's a wrong thing, that you're going to hurt so many people. That is what I'm seeing in a daily basis. People are learning on other people's financial future. That's not the right way to do this business. Yep. Yeah. So having a coach is a very important thing, and being coachable is also equally important. If you're not coachable, then what you really dream to be achieved is not going to come. Your dream is not going to come true, because coaching is going to tell you exactly what you need to do today, in the morning, in the afternoon, the next day, the next week, the next month, and then the next 90 days. So if you follow every instruction that is given by your coach, then you get to where you want to be. The excitement, it's just well worth it. I mean, uncomparable. Priceless result is waiting ahead for you if you follow it. That's why I like people, all people, to try, whether they are a government given, people gave them license, or whether they call themselves licensed and doing it on a trial and error basis on somebody else's future, or whether they are a licensed professional who are doing it somehow okay on their own. They all need to see what First Financial Security has. That success track is the key, is the bread and butter. Without that, I mean, we've seen people coming and not doing anything. And then there are so many of them. Go to the Insurance Commission website, DPOR or any other, location. When you go there and just search certain last name, Jackson, for example, Tony Jackson, search for Jackson. If there are 100 Jacksons, especially with this gang, mob thing, the way that they do it like a mob, you hear all the Jacksons, they were a licensed agent at one time without understanding, or whether, they've been misled, and then you see them inactive. Jackson is inactive, Esatu is inactive, and Michelle is inactive. I mean, why are they here? It costs money anyways. Their time is the most precious and expensive thing that they have in their hands. But we have to be very open and transparent, being coachable naturally, or staying motivated. How do a person stay motivated? Because of what they wish to achieve. If you want to, if you wish to achieve something bigger than you've never had in the past, then you know what it takes if you have a coach. If you don't have a coach, you're just dreaming, you're in your daydream, but no activity, At the end of the day, you will be the first or maybe the 1,001 individual that will return his or her license. I said, why are you in and why are you leaving? Because we all are born with some kind of gift by God. We have potential. There are certain things that we cannot do, certain things that we're born to do. Already the seed is in there. Little water will make it flourish. But when people recruit other people, I really don't know what the meaning of it, but they say, oh, the sky is falling, the sky is falling from the cloud. So all you have to do is just hold your hand like this. Open the door, the money was just like a fall leaf. It's just when the wind blows, it will come to your house. And that is called money. I said, no. You completely are sold by something that is not true. So we have to be really honest. Tell them the truth. It takes a lot of hard work. To be a self-employed is equally to me like a soldier who went to war and came back with one in one piece without anything lost. So it's like a big victory. You don't even know when the money is coming tomorrow. You don't know when the next paycheck or the next income is coming. But God gave you that potential for you to make the most out of it and create whatever you want. The sky's the limit. You decide $100,000 is enough. You can do it. Is it $500,000? You can do it. In our company, there are people who made $1.8 million in 12 months. Is it doable? Absolutely. But did they really earn it? Just like people say, "Oh, put your hands out," and then they just
No, they
you know,
work. They work
Right.
for it. They
no,
work
no,
for
no,
it.
no, no.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
work for it.
You gotta work.
this industry completely misunderstood, mishandled, and then a lot of people became a victim. We're
Yeah.
not interested in taking their $50, $100. Even the companies, the brokers that we're serving, I don't know what others are thinking, but our company, as you know, First Financial Security, they're not here for the $100 or the $50, whatever to join. You know,
Join.
everybody
Yeah.
has to pay. No, 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 no. The package that each individual receives as a welcome kit costs them more than what this individual is paying, or I pay, or you're paid. So
Right.
we're not into that, but we want to make a difference into our community in terms of financial freedom, generational wealth, and then change other people's career. I mean, if there are so many people who are looking for a better opportunity, and then just because they didn't meet the right person, they jump into something that they're not born for, they jump into something that they're not interested. Everything needs interest and the love of to do that specific thing. So without that, hey, forget it. It's not going to happen. So we're for that. I'm sure you're for that too. So we have to be
Absolutely.
honest and
Absolutely.
transparent. Yeah.
You know, Yeti, it's been an awesome conversation. Again, I think it's inspiring your energy, your passion, and for doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's important. I love some key points that I picked up from what you said is number one, I think the coaching was huge.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about success tracks, and for those of you who do not know, that's training.
Mm-hmm.
And so you gotta be coached, you gotta train. Is there any great athlete that you know that have achieved the pinnacle of their profession, right? Basketball, NBA championship, Masters championship, Stanley Cup, whatever it is. They had two things that they had to do to get there. They had to train and they had to have a coach.
Yep.
And if you don't do those two things, if you don't train and you don't have a coach and listen to your coach,
Mm-hmm.
you won't get there. And I think that's so important because it is important. It's the key to success, proper training, and have a coach.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And so if there's anything that I've taken away from your visit on our show tonight, it's those two things. So listen, if you're listening and you're in the chat box, write down a takeaway that you have for tonight. Put it in the chat box. What's your takeaway for tonight? So and as you guys are putting that in the chat box, right? Okay, here's your coachable moment. The Real Money Coach has asked you to put in the chat box, what is your one takeaway tonight? Would love to hear from you all in terms of what your takeaway is. So as we close down, as we conclude the show, I want to give you just one last opportunity. Any last words of encouragement or anything you'd like to share with our audience? We have several people who are on the team that watch. We have a lot of customers that watch. Just a variety of people. Some that are neither. So what would be your last words of encouragement as we sign off?
My last encouragement words, Tony, is number one, I would like to thank you so much, you and Michelle, for inviting me to this show. Number two, the main thing that I want our audience to always remember is we all are born to win.
Mm-hmm.
Our community is always going to another community to get the same service that is already available in the community.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Professionals. If there are professionals who are listening in here, I want you to hear me clearly. Professionals are obligated to serve up to the industry standard. If they serve up to the industry standard, let alone people in our community, somebody else from another community comes. In other professions, I've seen it in the lawyers and medical profession. Color doesn't exist when that professional is expert in what he does or she does.
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
we really have to work on our ethics. We really have to work on our professionalism. We really have to work on caring and loving for other human beings, whether they are people in our community or somewhere else. Until we fix that thing, those things that I mentioned, people from our community go and get the service from another community that is already worthy, just as equal as the industry. So what do we want? We want to be worthy as a minority. We want to be somebody, that others look at and get impressed and get advice how we made it to this level. We are capable of doing it. There are things that needs to be fixed, but again, it comes down to coaching. That is what I tell for everybody that I coach. You can do it, but these are things 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you okay? I mean, are you willing to change in this area? When they said yes, nobody can stop them. It does not matter which color, which continent, which this, which that.
That's
Nothing
awesome.
can stop it. Yeah. But we need to work. Without that, we always remain where we are, complaining. Complaining is not going to fix our problem. Our problem, we have to admit our weaknesses, work on it, and be at the top. That is what I have for everybody in our community. Tony Jackson.
Boom. There it is.
Yep.
There it is.
There it is.
There it is. Well spoken. Well spoken.
Yes.
Michelle, what? Anything you have to add?
Man, how can I top that? Like, one, have a vision for your life.
Yeah.
2, get a coach to help you reach the vision, and then put in the work. That's all. I mean, the ingredients are simple. People don't always want to take all the ingredients, but if you leave one ingredient out of a cake recipe, you won't have a very good cake. So, all of those make for successful professionals. Put it that way.
That's awesome, because you're right. She did mention, Yeti mentioned a lot about what's your goal, what's your dream, what's your why, and all those type of things. Listen, we had some wonderful comments here, and I'm going to start with Brad. He said, well, he got out of it knowledge. And then, as we look, we had Evelyn. She said, be honest with people. Kimberly said, awesome session. Thank you for your time and sharing information. Alice Martin said, honesty is so essential in offering financial plans to clients. And this is from a client. Love it. Love it. Thank you, Alice. Ruth Bell said, very hard work is the key to success. Timothy Day said, be ethical in all of your dealings and get a coach. Get a coach.
Yes.
Get a coach. Well, listen, on the Real Money Coach, what would else would we say but get a coach? This is the Real Money Coach, right? And so every coach, and it's interesting, when I was in Phoenix with my spiritual son, I said, every Timothy needs a Paul. Every Timothy needs a Paul. Every single person needs a coach. And honestly, every coach needs a student. And it's reciprocal, and it's very important. So Yeti, thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be with us today. I know you were in the meeting earlier today. We had, I think it was Champions Club meeting or something like that. That was earlier. So thank you so much for being with us. And I know you're busy. Because I see your numbers. You think I'm not watching? I'm watching you, Yeti. I got to try to catch. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm coming. Listen, but the key is to serve more people, love God, and just always do your best. Put others' needs in front of your own, and in time, you'll have everything that you desire. So that's it for the Real Money Coach tonight. Thank you all for being here. Looking forward to next week. We got another phenomenal guest coming on next week. I'm going to share some information about financial education. He does something called cocktails and credit. Great person. Thank you all for listening in and being part of the Real Money Coach. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.